Hello, welcome to In-Depth Conversations. I'm going to be talking about why I'm not surprised by the Breonna Taylor verdict. And here's why, and why you should not be surprised either. I'm going to start off with two names, Nellie Fuller Jr. and Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Those two names are imperative to understanding the dynamic of why Breonna Taylor was never going to get justice in the first place. Let me read the quote from Nellie Fuller Jr. If you don't understand white supremacy racism, everything that you do understand will only confuse you. This is important to understanding the dynamics. People are confused on why Breonna Taylor did not get justice. And it's through a system of white supremacy where justice cannot be brought. I'm going to read you another quote by Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. It's just as important, and it says, until you understand white supremacy, everything else will confuse you. And I'm going to read you this post from Pushing Black. It's important too, just parts of it. We must be honest about the role that white supremacy plays in our lives. We must understand the social and functional role it plays and attain an understanding of it so that we can take responsibility. For those who think white supremacy doesn't exist, you simply don't understand it. It's not like formal religion where you sign up and go to church on Sunday. Rather, it's something that is so ingrained in our Western society that's from its very establishment. It was built and intentioned that we call reality should not include rights for black people and that white folks shouldn't have to think about it. White supremacy is something that has been built into Western civilization. That is, a set of pre-established privileges are assumed and integrated into the general psychological framework of basically all white folk. And what does this mean? You should know with Breonna Taylor, what I just stated, white supremacy. If you don't understand the system, then you are confused on why Breonna Taylor, the Attorney General Daniel Cameron, did not bring charges to the police who killed Breonna Taylor, who murdered Breonna Taylor. Understand what I'm saying. You should know it is the system. Who would have an interest in changing a system that benefits them so well? We have to get real with ourselves when we talk about these things. And we can't confuse who the justice system does and doesn't work for. We're acting surprised on a set of rules and regulations that we should already understand as black people. We'll continue to do all of this work and energy. I think now let's jump to Marilyn Mosby. She is the state's attorney for Baltimore, Maryland. She brought charges for the officers who were included in the death of Freddie Gray or had something to do with the recklessness and endangerment of Freddie Gray dying. The point that I'm making here is that Maryland, all the officers were charged, all 6 who were involved in Freddie Gray's death. But the thing is that all 6 were acquitted. This is a problem with the system. She brought the charges. She charged the officers. I could say the same thing, and Freddie Gray is still dead. I could say Maryland did the right thing, and everyone knows that these officers should have been charged regardless of the color. But the system was holding her back. It is the system. And I think my overall point to this is for black people, we wanted to integrate with whites so bad that now we have, and now we're not getting the treatment we thought we deserved by the white people who did the heinous crime of slavery. We're still confused why they haven't apologized and things like this. The picture I'm showing you is of the Little Rock Nine, who integrated in the school system when it was school segregation. The reason I'm showing you this is look at the white people in the back's faces. Now look at these white faces. Who would send their child to a school like this when they're yelling and doing all of this? Was the education that much important? Were the white teachers that much better? You had black schools already. What is the point? We had the black schools already. We should have double thought what integration and ending segregation meant. When we really think about it, we already had the schools. Why would we want to integrate into a community where white people are treating black people like this and not expect that form of racism to permeate through? When we think about schools today, think of the most recent case I can think of off the top of my head. It was about how 2 black girls recorded this white girl saying the N-word at school, right? I think it's in high school. The 2 black girls recorded the white girl saying it. What the principal ended up doing was the principal ended up suspending the 2 black girls because the principal said that they shouldn't have got this much notoriety and attention from the outside world, from social media, filming with the white girl saying the N-word. Can you believe that the 2 black girls got suspended when the white girl said that? Yes, you can, because if you go back to the beginning of this video, you understand that white supremacy is ruling everything. That black people were only here for the free labor. It is no surprise now when you have When you have a group of people, a group of black people that are only meant to be here for free labor, what do you do with a group of people that that are no longer needed? What do? You make laws and restrictions against them. You own them for eternity. This is what we're seeing throughout the Breonna Taylor case. It's so frustrating. It seems like people aren't understanding why she didn't get justice. Think about this for a minute. We are the only group of people who beg the people that used to own us to teach our children, educate our children, take care of us at the doctor's office, care for us, treat us right and equal with the police. It still seems like we don't understand that we are not in the same system. We are different, and they're willing to attack and treat us differently. Listen, if inferiority is in the system by black people, then superiority is also in the system that white people take on. We are the only people who keep saying, teach us, teach us, teach us, white people. You don't see the Jews saying that to the Nazis. We still don't seem to get it. We don't seem to get it. It is the system that is the mess. And no one is looking to reform it to benefit black people. Black people must remain at the bottom as if America is a caste system. Look at this headline I'm going to read you. White man taken into custody after killing wife, shooting black neighbors, and firing 40 rounds at cops. If this surprises you, you are not awoke. Go back to the beginning of my video and look at Dr. Francis Quest Welsing and Neely Foley Jr. to understand why this man can do this and be taken into custody after shooting at cops. They have an issue with black people with black skin, not white people. Understand this so we can move forward. And I feel like I'm going to have to make a part 2 just to get it clear. Breonna Taylor had did not deserve to die, of course. But again, I was looking at Karen Hunter's video, and she was saying that this is an issue with voting. This has nothing to do with voting, because if you are aware, you understand that the Black Lives Matter movement was birthed under Obama and the Obama administration. Even Flint was under Obama. So we have to get this together in our minds. And let me say, when I say voting won't change it, I mean voting, I guess, for the president. Things are going to happen regardless of who's president and who's not. I think voting at your state and local levels is more important, and I encourage everyone to do that, of course. But the presidency, there's nothing really that's going to change at the top, because we still have problems with Obama. I'm not trying to make this which administration is better. I'm just saying, even if you have a black face in a very high place, and just because you see these large crowds does not mean progress is happening. And because Black Lives Matter is taking off in a lot of groups of people, doesn't mean that the system is going to be reformed. Thank you for watching, and comment below what you think.